and stuffs. It's all come together for Iowa State this season. Tonight they look to make Hilton unbearable for Baylor. The number 3 seed in the Big 12 Conference Tournament on the line, and it's next on the Cyclone Television Network. It's a jam-packed, standing-room-only crowd here at Hilton Coliseum. Let's look at the starting lineup brought to you by Pioneer Hybrids, helping you get the right products on the right acre. Science with service, delivering success. For Baylor, Jones, A.C. Miller, Heslop, Jackson. For Iowa State, the same 5. Edgem, White, Babb, Allen, and Christopherson. Now keys to victory brought to you by Casey's General Stores, convenience stores, and a whole lot more.
Well, Baylor's got to get off to a solid start. Anytime you're on a senior night, you want to get off and then win the effort battle, those 50-50 balls in the rebound.
We will take a look at Iowa State here in a moment. Baylor winning the earlier contest in Waco, in which they shot better than 72% in the second half, 60% for the game. As you see, the ball last touched by Iowa State. So Baylor will hold on to it in the half court. The Bears with 25 wins, which is tied for most in the regular season in program history. As they'll go to the freshman Quincy Miller. Interesting matchup there with Babb and Miller, as Iowa State will try to control that front line of Baylor, but it is the junior college transfer Pierre Jackson that gets them on the board first. How about Iowa State?
Well, Iowa State's got to challenge and pressure their guards and just rebound. They got beat badly last time down at Baylor, and they got to take care of the boards tonight.
Chris Allen getting Iowa State on the board. We're knotted up at 2 here early on. Again, the winner of this game will get the number 3 seed for the Big 12 Conference Tournament.
That's so key, that 3-4 seed, whether you get that 3, just the different matchups that you'll see down at Kansas City. Huge effort tonight for both teams and what at stake.
It's been a very entertaining Big 12 Conference season, coming down to just this game, and then also Texas playing at Kansas tonight. Here's Allen.
Start hitting that 3 against that zone. Got to create some extension on that zone and get into that interior as this game goes on.
So Iowa State with that 3-point advantage, all Chris Allen, the senior from Lawrenceville, Georgia, the transfer from Michigan State, playing his final regular season game here at Hilton Coliseum.
We talked about Baylor's key, trying to get off to a good start anytime senior night, especially a night like this. The crowd, we haven't heard it this loud in a long time, especially at the start of the game.
We will be measuring that sound as that one's nearly turned over. Heslop at the shot clock, cannot get it to go down, and the rebound to Babb.
Great rebound, great block out, Chris Babb.
It's very quiet with Iowa State on the offensive possession.
You see Baylor in that zone.
This one fumbled around and will belong to Baylor. Well, Iowa State has never lost to Baylor here at Hilton Coliseum. A perfect 9-0 all time, and now there's a foul called away from the ball. This one going against Iowa State. Melvin Edgem will pick up his first. There's Baylor head coach Scott Drew, and what a job he's done since taking over 9 seasons ago.
Well, before he got there, you didn't even really hear about Baylor basketball, and ever since he's been there, been in the top 25 the last 5-6 years. Just a great job that he's done.
And there's Miller, the freshman, with the dunk. So Quincy Miller having a double-double earlier, a couple of games ago against Kansas State in a loss, but he's certainly one of those players you have to keep an eye on with Baylor. And the way Scott Drew has been able to turn it around has been with recruiting. He's got another top 10 class coming up next year. This one turned over by Iowa State, and that will be their second turnover of the game.
Well, once you get that momentum going, you get those key recruits, and you get a little solid foundation built. Recruits want to come to your program.
So 1-point Iowa State lead. Miller has it nearly taken away by Babb, and this one will be tied up. Possession arrow will give it to Iowa State. Chris Babb and Quincy Miller. We talked about this matchup, how interesting it is because of Babb's ability to guard the perimeter.
Well, he does such a great job, as Coach Horberg's talked about, that he feels he's one of the top defenders in the league and should be on the all-defensive team.
See the field goal numbers early on. Here's White.
Well, that's what you're going to see. That high post area and the short corners against this zone. Iowa State's going to have to attack. Royce kind of turned there and didn't realize how open he was, but that's going to be there all night if they just continue to move that ball.
Quincy Acey picking up the foul. Now Royce White to the line, a 51% free throw shooter on the season. But where you see him in the Big 12 Conference, and of course what he does for his team, the only player in the nation to lead his team in scoring, rebounding, assists, steals, and blocks.
Well, this team's a totally different team when that ball goes through Royce White's hands. Just sees the ball, sees the floor so well.
2-point game. Baylor, of course, trying to protect their ranking as well before they head into tournament play. They've been ranked in the top 10 for 15 weeks.
You see another key matchup with Acey and Melvin down low.
And a foul now called against Melvin Edgem. And you see the reaction.
Wow, that looked like just a good block out. That's an effort play where you're blocking out. Melvin gets inside position and it does exactly, sometimes there's a little push there, but.
And so this is going to force Fred Hoiberg to go to his bench.
Just a good effort play out of Melvin blocking. Use a little bit of the forearm, but boy, at this level, it's so physical down low.
Anthony Booker now in for Edgem, who's on the bench with 2. Here's Heslip. You can't leave him open, and he was able to get free. And this one all tied up.
You got to keep your feet on the exterior there. Stay down and make them shoot over you.
White right in the center. And Acey was able to deflect that one away.
That's still a good look in that interior.
Look out. Harry Jones III putting it through.
Good look to that interior, but got to pick up that basketball, make sure they stop it early.
Allen, the deep 3. And a foul called against Quincy, we believe Quincy Acey. And that is going to be a big foul, as that is going to be his second.
Got a good look just to run out. Nobody picks up the ball. Says if nobody's going to take care of me, I'll go all the way.
We're tied at 6 with 15:35 to play here in the first half. The 2-point lead on Iowa State, 15:35 to play here in the first half. As we take a look at a Budweiser quick stat. Great times are waiting. Grab some Buds. You see the second chance opportunities. Baylor with 4. Iowa State has yet to score in that category. And Baylor will now be going to their bench. Quincy Acey is out. Corey Jefferson, the sophomore, into the game now for Acey. So that front line for both teams being challenged. There's Booker. No challenge there for Booker.
It's always nice when you get a 3 coming off that bench.
Well, he's shooting 46% from beyond the arc in Big 12 conference play. Heslip in the lane. And Brady Heslip getting into the scoring column again. He's got 4 to lead the Bears. Iowa State being led by Chris Allen. And this one off the foot of Baylor. Iowa State will hold on to it. Iowa State with 11 conference victories. As Royce White lets it fly. That's a 2.
Well, you saw Baylor there that just kind of looked at him, didn't even come out and challenge. I think they're going to give that top of the key area open to Royce.
Here's Jackson. She took Allen deep into the lane on the dribble. And drawing the contact there. As Allen will pick up his first. Well, Iowa State, we mentioned those 11 league victories. It's the 3rd team in school history to have that many conference victories. And you think about where these two were predicted. Iowa State was predicted to finish towards the bottom of the Big 12 conference. Baylor predicted to finish in the upper 3rd. And today is the Big 12 Conference Tournament right around the corner. As Tyrus McGee will now come into the game. He'll check in for Scott Christopherson.
Well, I think you saw most people knew what Baylor had coming back and could anticipate, but you really had no idea how Iowa State was going to mold together. And I think you got to give a lot of credit to Coach Hoiberg and his staff of how he's gotten these transfers to buy in, accept roles, and they've really come together late in the season when it's the most important.
Jackson, a guy you don't want to put at the line, 82% free throw shooter, the finalist for the Bob Cousy Award, hitting them both. Baylor now with the lead again at 12-11.
That's what Baylor needed. They needed a good start just to stay in and keep that crowd at bay.
Here's Babb for three. Iowa State from downtown, 2 of 4. Baylor 0 for their first 2. Here's Miller. Allen looking to attack. And the rebound to Perry Jones III.
A good attack there, but just it's tough when you don't have any rebound. If you're patient against that zone, you'll get good opportunities.
Heslop from 15. And Baylor with their largest lead of 3 here, with 13:38 to play in the first half. White from 15. Can't answer. Jones the third with the rebound. This zone really causing Iowa State some issues as they go inside. And Jefferson fouled on the attempt. Tyrus McGee will pick up his first personal.
Well, Iowa State's looking at the zone and they're being able to do it. You see as he's trailing down here, Tyrus hustles back and does get him on the arm. Good hustle, at least just to get back, not giving any easy baskets, make him go to the free throw line and earn it. But Iowa State's getting the looks that they want inside that zone, that top of the key, that free throw line area is where you want to look, but you're going to have to attack. You can see Baylor, they're just backing off and telling Royce, hey, go ahead and shoot it, prove that you can make it, and then we'll adjust our defense.
Jefferson, a 59% free throw shooter, hits them both. He was held scoreless in just 7 minutes in the first meeting between Iowa State and Baylor. And the Bears now up by 5. White again left alone, will try to drive it in, and this time he gets the deuce.
Great decision there. You see Pierre Jackson, he comes out top. Usually he's sitting back inside that zone, but he came out. They're giving that open lane.
And the putback is there by Corey Jefferson. White did what he could to defend that play on Jones. Allen for 3. Jefferson the turnaround. Jackson the near steal.
You can't get lazy with Jackson out there. Leads the team in steals. Always got a hand in those passing lanes.
Now White again. There's White. Could not knock that down as Heslop on the other end can't get it to fall. And a foul here on White. That is going to be the 5th team foul on Iowa State with 12:06 to play here in the first half. And White will pick up his first. Take a look at those rebounding numbers. Iowa State's done very well as of late. In fact, they've out-rebounded their last 7 opponents by 9, so getting off to a slow start in that category.
And we talked earlier about Baylor, those 50-50 and those effort plays and those rebounds is where it's at. Iowa State's got to control the board action.
Quincy Acey back into the game with 2 fouls, so Scott Drew wanting to let his senior back into the game. And it will stay with Baylor as it was last touched by Iowa State.
Well, Iowa State giving Royce a breather here, but all the coaches in his ear probably talking about that free throw line jumper, that there's room there, attack the basket.
Percy Gibson in for White right now. Also into the game, Gary Franklin for Baylor. There's Christopherson getting his first bucket of the game. And it's back to a three-point edge for the Bears.
And if you're just patient, you're going to get good opportunities against that zone.
Jackson, the pull-up. And he hits it right over the top, a two-pointer over Boo Boo Paulo, who's also into the game for the first time. There's Paulo in the lane. The dump off to Gibson, and he'll be fouled on the play. And that will bring us to a timeout on the floor. 11:19 to play here in the first half. The Bears getting it done. They've got the edge. Baylor with a 5-point lead on Iowa State with 11:19 to play here in the first half. One thing we're going to see tonight is a lot of three-point shots. Iowa State leads the Big 12 in three-point field goals. Tonight they've got two. Baylor hasn't been able to connect from the outside, but they do have the edge as they've been able to power it inside. That interior play for Baylor really paying off as the Bears have 8 points in the paint so far. Here's Percy Gibson at the line.
Well, Baylor's so long. They got such a length inside that makes it so tough to score against that zone, and then down low, and then blocking out on the defensive end to keep them away from the boards. You got to not only block them out, but keep them farther out from the boards.
The freshman unable to hit his two attempts at the line. Iowa State as a team just 1 of 4 in their opportunities there.
But you can see Baylor they're deciding to take the three-point game away from Iowa State right now and give that interior to that zone.
A.J. Walton into the game, and a turnover for the Bears. Christopherson. And a rebound to Jefferson. One and done for Iowa State. We've seen that a lot here so far. No second chance opportunities. Acey will kick it out. That's Jones. And a foul called against Baylor, as that goes against A.J. Walton.
Again, good hustle back by Tyrus. Little elbow there. Good look kick out. But Iowa State doing a good job on the boards, blocking out and forcing the over the back. Or the push, they like to call it nowadays. They don't call it an over the back. Everything's a push. You see Iowa State putting Christopherson in that middle of the zone.
Trying to spread the floor here. They'll reset with 15 on the shot clock.
Well, Baylor having to make a little bit of adjustment without Royce in there.
Shot clock inside of 10. McGee with 5 on the shot clock.
If you don't get inside that zone, they're able to extend out and put a lot of pressure on you.
Acey tied up, but a foul will be called against Iowa State. This one going against Tyrus McGee, and he'll pick up his second.
Baylor just does a good job getting the ball down quick. Iowa State needs to get behind, or get in front, I should say. They got to get there and get in front of that sweet spot to block. Baylor does such a good job of running their lanes. They get somebody to that block. If they don't have that three-point shot, they're going right down low. You have to beat them to that spot, not even give them the opportunity to get there.
Both teams go to their bench. Allen and Babb back in for Iowa State. Perry Jones back in, along with Quincy Miller. And Jefferson also back in. That's Miller's attempt, not there. And the rebound to Booker, who is strong on the box out. Christopherson. Iowa State really taking a lot of deep threes. Baylor really running and gunning, and Jefferson tied up in the lane, and a foul will be called against Iowa State, and that's going to put Baylor into the bonus. That's the 7th team foul against Iowa State.
And Baylor's bigs are so good at running the floor. And you can't trail the play. Booker there trailing and running alongside. You got to sprint back and get in front and not even give them those lanes.
Well, the other night against Missouri, Iowa State gave up 24 fast break points to the Tigers, which ultimately led to their comeback. I think Baylor saw something on that film.
Oh, definitely. And Baylor's a fast-breaking team also. They want to get up and down the floor, and you put a lot of pressure on the defense when you extend that floor with the pass versus the dribble. And Baylor does a good job throwing it up the lanes and running the floor with their bigs.
Jefferson's second attempt. as it was a 2-shot foul. And Baylor holding on to their 6-point lead here.
And we see how both teams adjust now with Royce back in the game.
Inside to White. And an and-one opportunity.
Great move by Royce. Good strong move, and he's going to have that. He's going to have to continue to do that to put the pressure on Baylor's big, get some foul issues on them.
Corey Jefferson picking up the foul here.
If they're going to stand back, he's going to have to attack that front line there, put a lot of pressure on them, force Baylor to make adjustments.
For the Bears with a 4-point lead here. Jones will work against White. And now Baylor resets here with 13 on the shot clock. That three-pointer in and out for Jackson. Baylor 0 for 5 from downtown. For 3. And look out, here come the Bears, 3-on-2, Jackson. And a goaltend will be called as Chris Allen came in crashing late.
Yeah, just an effort play there. Christopherson did a good job taking away, forcing a tough shot. Just didn't need that. Chris Allen coming back and hustling. It's already hit the glass there.
Well, Pierce Jackson's quickness really gave Iowa State fits in Waco. Tonight, he's got 8 points, 3 of 4 from the field. Iowa State being led by Royce White, who's got 7.
Well, there's two keys there. When you got a guard like that, you got to push him out of that middle of the floor, but then the big's got to get back and stop those lanes.
Christopherson, and this one last touch by Baylor, off the foot of Jones III.
See, if you don't attack that interior of Baylor's zone, it allows them to stay out and extend, and it's so hard to get shots at. That's why you see Iowa State's extending those 3-point shots.
Gibson inside. Boy, Christopherson with the assist. And Percy Gibson continues to roll along. He's averaging over 6 points a game in his last 5, and during that stretch shooting about 71%. Jones III. That's a 2. As Perry Jones III really coming out of his slump. Had a double-double against Tech. Tonight, 4 points, 5 rebounds so far.
There's so many offensive weapons on this Baylor team. Guys that can really come out and have big nights, score anywhere 25, 30 points a game.
Christopherson again in the lane.
There you go. Doesn't have to just go through Royce, just attacking that interior of the zone.
You know, you really think of him as a 3-point shooter. But then, when you read his bio and you talk to his family, his dad said that he used to do everything off of the dribble drive. And it really makes a whole lot of sense as you watched his game progress over this season.
Yeah, we've seen that. He's capable of putting that ball on the floor and attacking, and does a great job at it. And it's a great, triple threat to be able to shoot and drive and pass, and Christopherson can do all 3.
Baylor 0 for their first 7 from downtown. White with a rebound, and he'll go to the line. Baylor with their 6th team foul, and that will bring us to a timeout on the floor. 6:34 to go here in the first half. Scott Christopherson trying to keep Iowa State in it. He's got 4. State 6:34 to play here in the first half. Well, Paul, as we take a look at that Budweiser quick stat, Iowa State struggling from the line. They came into the game shooting 208 more free throws than their opponent. They might need that many attempts here tonight as they need to start cranking them through. As that guy right there, Fred Hoiberg, certainly could make his fair share of free throws. In fact, the mayor going to be inducted into the National High School Hall of Fame. As Royce White at the line, and he makes one, which is a really, really good sign
Well, the way this game's progressing, he's going to get a lot of attempts if he continues to attack that board. But you see a different, different stroke, but he finishes high. He's obviously been working on it, and that's just great for his confidence right there.
White 3 of 5 from the line tonight. Baylor with a 2-point lead. Inside to Miller. And a rebound to White.
Another great defensive effort out of Chris Babb there.
Royce thought about delivering the ball ahead, but then called for the carry. That'll be the 3rd turnover against the Cyclones.
But a good defensive effort out of Iowa State that last time. Christopherson guarding the perimeter. Chris Babb on the interior. Great play, and then great rebounding out of Royce White. Just total team effort there.
Scott Drew mixing his defenses, but he's really hunkered down with that zone. Now, offensively, they've had their struggles here tonight from the perimeter. And now a carry called against Anthony Jones.
Well, both teams not shooting the ball well from the 3. Percy gets caught. Not looking. Fortunately, there's a little turnover there. Caught on the hip.
We mentioned earlier, Baylor certainly had their struggles here at Hilton Coliseum as Babb rises up. And a rebound to the Bears. In fact, during that stretch of the last 5 games played here at Hilton Coliseum, Iowa State's won by an average of 15. Tonight, the Bears showing up. And Quincy Miller showing you why he is one of the best finishers coming out of high school and just putting it on display here in his freshman season at Baylor.
That time Iowa State, just the backside didn't come. Chris Babb's got his work cut out tonight.
Allen's 3 off the mark. That's Gibson. Can't get the putback.
And Iowa State settling for the 3 right now when they can attack that interior.
Cyclones 2 of 12 from beyond the arc.
And you know they can heat up at any time, but you attack that interior, those 3s are going to come a lot easier for you.
And back-to-back turnovers for Anthony Jones. His foot was on the sideline.
You see Chris Babb battling hard, but no backside defense there. The backside's got to get there and force, and even if put Baylor to the free throw line, make them earn those buckets.
So Jones and Miller will check out for Baylor. Back into the game is Corey Jefferson, and Deuce Bello, a 6'4" freshman out of Greensboro, North Carolina, into the game for the first time for Baylor. Christopherson avoids the trap. And White will go to the line. Bello called for the foul.
And Iowa State having their way with that interior. Percy coming up now and setting that screen, being able to roll off. Attacks that front line. Good dish off, good strong move. And so for coming off the last make here, Royce White, a little bit of confidence on that free throw line.
And it's showing. Well, we saw him in pregame warmups, and of course earlier today, shooting a lot of free throws and trying to get himself in rhythm, and certainly appears to be there.
Well, and Coach Hoiberg's talked about him getting in and working by himself in the gym. Just a lot of hard work that's starting to pay off in a very big game.
The Hacker Royce not working tonight, as the decibel level certainly picks up here at Hilton. Jackson. Swatted away by Gibson. Here's Babb. And White can't finish it.
Chris thought he was going to get bumped there, so he kind of looked off instead of just going up strong. Good defensive effort out of Iowa State at this end, getting the crowd back into it.
This is for the number 3 seed in the Big 12 Conference Tournament coming up. And for Iowa State, an opportunity to improve their tournament resume. You know they're in, but can improve their seeding.
And see Iowa State made an adjustment there on defense, putting Chris Babb on Huslett.
Allen for 3. The Cyclones started out hot from beyond the arc. Here's the lob. And Jones can't finish it.
Fortunate for Iowa State there. Got caught kind of sleeping. And you got to keep going to what's working here, that interior. Keep attacking it.
Christopherson gets the roll. And we're tied at 27. And a timeout taken here by Baylor. It'll be a 30-second timeout.
You see, nice job out of Percy holding his ground there. Even though there's contact, he didn't force the contact. Again, Christopherson do a good job putting the ball on the floor and attacking that middle of the zone. Baylor staying back in their front line and not adjusting back up to it. Baylor's going to have to make some adjustments there if Iowa State continues to see success inside.
Well, Baylor, for the most part, has kept these fans out of the game. But certainly they're starting to rock. Coming up at the half, we'll be talking with Dan Saptic of the Iowa State University Foundation. Plus, we've got highlights, stats, scores, and more, all coming up here at intermission. Royce White leading the way for Iowa State. He's got 11. The other big storyline, 5 of 7 from the foul line.
There's so many things that you can do as an Iowa State player that can get a crowd like this going. It's not just scoring the basketball, it's the effort plays, diving on the floor, blocking out, little things that just get this crowd rocking and making it tough for Baylor.
Miller in the lane, and Babb with a good defense. It will stay with Baylor. We've got an immediate timeout, 2:51 to play here in the first half. We're all knotted up at 27. 27, 2:51 to play here in the first half. The game has been tied 4 times. The lead has changed hands 6 times. As we take a look at our Budweiser quick stat, points in the paint. This is where Baylor's had the advantage most of the season and a lot of their victories in the paint. And right now they're outscoring Iowa State 12-10. Royce White leading the way for Iowa State with 11.
Baylor's bigs are not only tall, but just so long, and they're hard to keep off those boards, offensively and defense. Iowa State doing a pretty good job right now.
Jackson will put it in play. The officials confer, and it will go to the Cyclones as the Bears will turn it over for the 6th time.
Those are just huge little possessions that you lose throughout the game that could be key for Iowa State. Get a bucket, take the lead here, and get this crowd really loud.
White in the lane. Almost got the continuation and the ball to fall through. We'll be back at the line again.
You see something Royce saw there. He sees that Baylor's zone, they extend out, and he's going to have a fun time just going one-on-one against Jones III there.
And it may be a matchup that he really relishes because of the stature, I guess, of Perry Jones III, expected to be a top 10 NBA draft pick if he elects to go out. And this time, White leaving the free throw a little bit short.
Again, it's one of those things, you relish those all the time when you get to play against players that everybody else is talking about. Not that nobody's talking about Royce White, but again, a great challenge for Royce today to just put another mark on his resume.
As we take a look at the turnover numbers so far, here's Jackson for 3. Got it. So Pierre Jackson knocking down the triple. As Baylor now 1 of 8 from beyond the arc.
Iowa State not really shooting the ball well from the three-point line, but again, can get a lot of good, easy looks. Now Baylor switching to a man-to-man situation.
And Allen will be called for the walk. As Iowa State will turn it over for the 4th time.
And you can just feel this crowd wanting a little bit of a run go for Iowa State.
Jackson bumped. And he'll head back to the line. That foul on Chris Allen. That'll be his 2nd.
Baylor does a good job with their high screens. Iowa State's defense got to rotate over and help out, stop that penetration. Jackson's just so quick off the dribble.
averaging nearly 13 points a game and able to hit that free throw there. And nearly hitting his average right now with 12. Bubu Paulo back into the game. Also back in for Iowa State is Chris Babb. So you've got Babb, Christopherson, Paulo, White, and Allen. For the Bears, it's Jones III, Heslop, Walton, Miller, and Pierre Jackson, who's at the line.
Well, Coach Hoiberg's probably putting Bubu in to throw him against Jackson, give him a different look. Chris Allen picking up the second foul there.
Beg your pardon, Walton now back in for Baylor. Iowa State trying to get back into the lead because they know Baylor is so dangerous when they have the lead at the half. In fact, 21-0 when leading at intermission. Here's Allen. And a foul called away from the ball. This one going against Baylor. Walton really not agreeing with the call.
Well, Iowa State had a mismatch there. Royce White was guarded by Walton. He was really trying to work to get the ball down low. Iowa State just wasn't able to get it in there. Again, that's where you got to be patient and keep looking. Those threes will come within the offense. Now a technical foul on Baylor.
And this one going against Walton. He was begging for it. And A.J. Walton, the junior from Little Rock, will get his wishes granted.
Well, you only get a little bit. You can really talk to the official. You got to just stay away from that. And if Baylor coach is wanting some kind of explanation. He was fighting Royce down there, and Royce wasn't really doing anything. Royce is so hard to guard and so big. It was just tough for him. He just was not going to leave Royce alone. I don't know if he was trying to foul him just to put him back on the free throw line or what.
Maybe that's what they're talking about. Scott Drew, the game plan coming into the game is maybe making Royce White go to the line as Christopherson goes 1 out of 2 from the line. White has shot 9 free throws so far. Iowa State as a team 6 of 13 from the charity stripe.
Now that's a rare miss there, Christopherson.
So this will be a 1-and-1 here. And so, let's see. Nope. What we thought was a 1-and-1, as that was the 9th team foul prior to the technical, which did push Baylor up into 10 team fouls. And a rebound to Tyrus McGee, who's back in with a couple of fouls himself. Here's Christopherson to the corner, and it's picked off by Jackson.
Just a huge opportunity there to miss. Got to find ways to get stops now on defense.
And Jackson's drive, and he's able to finish it. He's got 15 in the game. There's Pierre Jackson. McGee to the rack. And the rack won.
Just a good, strong move. Just need to go up, lay that in, but you can't fault the effort there.
And now Jackson catching fire with 18 first half points. And Fred Hoiberg livid in that huddle.
Well, as we talked about, there's so many weapons that Baylor has that could step up and score 20 to 30 points. And Jackson just feeling it all of a sudden. Iowa State not having the answer, somebody that can guard him. You got Bubu put in the guard. Bubu is looking off there. They're trying to communicate. Again, it's got to start with a team defense. The exterior gets beat, somebody's got to step up, take a charge, or at least force the pass out. You got to go back where you force Baylor to that outside jumper right now, because that's the only place they haven't been successful.
Well, Pierre Jackson, the junior college transfer out of southern Idaho, on a tear. He scored 10 points here in the last buck 28. Baylor with their largest lead of the game. Now White. A little high out. And this one can be called against Iowa State. Royce White called for the clear out.
Looked like more of a flop to me. Royce gets the ball here. Good job going to the middle. He just kind of fell. As soon as he made contact, he fell.
Gary Franklin.
I know Coach Hoiberg was upset. It is the most animated I've seen him in a long time.
Franklin, who transferred to Baylor from California, has played here at Hilton Coliseum before. Scored 8 in a game for Cal and win a year ago. Jackson being trailed by Pollard. About an 8-second difference between the shot and game clock here. Inside it goes, and good defense by Booker.
A good no call there that Iowa State deserved. That was a great block by Booker.
Here's Christopherson being crafty. And Iowa State will make it a 7-point game at intermission. Baylor leading at 37-30 on Iowa State. Seed for next week's tournament at the Sprint Center in Kansas City. And whom they might play. Paul, you think you've got the seeding already broken down?
I think I do. I believe we got A&M and Oklahoma fighting that 8-9 for sure. Oklahoma State and Texas Tech for sure that 7-10 seed. We believe K-State is that 5 seed and Texas is the 6 seed. What it boils down to is right here the 3-4. Of who's going to face Kansas State and who's going to face Texas.
I give the Big 12 Conference office, in particular Tim Allen, a lot of credit. Over the last couple of weeks, he's been trying to boil these down and keep all the members of the media in line.
Well, I think it's so key. I mean, Iowa State obviously has matched up well against Kansas State, but again, getting that 3 seed and facing Texas, which is not an easy task, but I know Iowa State would love to get another shot at Missouri. But again, facing Kansas in Kansas City in the Big 12, the only time you really want to face them is in the championship when everything counts there. But again, where the chips fall, most important thing is the effort tonight and getting this W.
There's Pierre Jackson, 18 points. He had a career high of 25 just a few nights ago against Texas. And again, the top 6 seeds in the Big 12 Conference get a first-round bye. That's Perry Jones the third, the miss, the rebound to Christopherson.
Good defensive effort there by Edgen.
Well, we sat in these seats a few weeks ago in which Iowa State erased a 14-point second-half deficit against Kansas State. And they did it with work like that. Melvin Edgen, who's got to be fresh, went out of the game early with 2 fouls, checks in to get a bucket here. His first of the game.
A great adjustment by Iowa State. I know they talked a lot about that probably when Royce White getting that ball top, attacks that basket, great feed.
Jackson draws the contact and will go to the line. Very shifty is Pierre Jackson. And Allen will pick up the foul. That's going to be his third.
And here you got a great look into the interior. Royce seeing it. At least forces AC to come up and guard him. Great dish off to Edgen. Strong finish. This is just going to be a huge key this second half of finding somebody that contain Jackson, force the ball into somebody else's hands.
Jackson perfect. 5 of 5. And now shooting for 20, which would give him his 4th game in which he scored 20 points or more this season. Listed at 5'10" is Pierre Jackson.
Well, here the Cyclones down in Baylor being able to penetrate, but he was on the giving end at that time, dishing it off to the bigs and then following with dunks, where now he's on the shooting end.
Baylor stays in that zone. There's Christopherson. Got it! Scotty for 3.
Still an extended 3, but a great sign for Iowa State. We talked about in the first half how any time they can come out of the shooting slump.
Christopherson now with 12 and a foul on Royce White. That will be his third.
What a great look here. His zone shifts over. Christopherson has enough time to get that shot off. You give a lot of these Cyclone players just a little bit of room, and they can get that three off.
There's Miller inside, and he gets the bucket. And now a timeout taken here by Scott Drew. It'll be a timeout for the Bears. That will lead us to these messages here from the Cyclone Television Network. The fouls are really starting to pile up on Iowa State. They've got two players, Chris Allen and Royce White, on the bench with 3 fouls each. And Scott Drew told us before the game when we asked him about how they've been so successful in the second half, he says it's been simply their depth and their power inside. As you see, their second half field goals, all of those shots coming on the interior.
Well, and that last foul by Royce White was a tough one. The ball was thrown, wasn't catchable.
And a foul here called against Baylor. Pierre Jackson.
Ball was overthrown and thrown out of bounds, and there was a tangle, but there's no advantage that was created. And actually, AC made the tangle up, so that's a huge foul on Iowa State. That third foul for Royce White.
Here's a three. Allen able to connect.
Out of bounds there, coming off the screen, wide open. Much easier attempts the second half so far.
He's made a three now in 20 straight games. Iowa State starting to pick it up from the perimeter. Here's Heslip. Can't get the answer. Jones the third with a rebound. PJ3 can't get the follow. And a fresh 35 for the Bears. And they use it to ring it up from the outside with Pierre Jackson.
Boy, just another second chance opportunity that you can't give up to the Bears.
The deep three by Allen. He gets the answer right back.
Well, that might be what Iowa State's need. 3 so far this second half. Get them heated up a little bit.
Chris Allen coming alive. He's got 11. 3 Cyclones in double figures. Jones working on Edgem. And so strong inside is Perry Jones the third. And now another timeout taken by Scott Drew and Baylor. 5-point game here.
Well, Baylor seeing a mismatch that they have here with Jones the third going down against Edgem. Iowa State's going to have to make an adjustment there. Either send front and have that backside, or send a double. It's 2 times in a row going down low and attacking Melvin Edgem.
So the couple of quick timeouts, Scott Drew seeing something where he needs to make some quick adjustments. What do you think we're going to see on the defensive end here for Baylor?
Well, they've come out with that zone and just, again, little lack of effort. I don't know what you exactly call it, but Iowa State all of a sudden getting those easy opportunities. Now you see this adjustment, a little full court pressure. Iowa State coming up that Iowa State's going to have to adjust. Again, basketball is always this game of adjustment. Coaches making it on the fly and throughout their timeouts through that second half.
Man-to-man with AC playing center field as White will put it in play. The Cyclones red hot from beyond the arc to start the second half. 3 of 4 from downtown. As we take a look at those 3-point numbers brought to you by Budweiser. Grab some Bud. Great times are waiting. Just like that, Melvin Edgem. He's been sorely missed in the first half. He had to sit out it because of foul trouble. Now the Edge with 4 points, all in the second half here.
Well, great set coming out of that timeout. Timeout of Baylor. Great set by Iowa State. Started with the screen with Royce Wright, Christopherson attacking that middle, and a super finish by Melvin.
Jones and White, no help. And Jones the third gets the bucket.
Well, that's a tough matchup there. For Royce is going to go to Jones the third with 3 fouls. Baylor recognized it right away and went to him.
Jones the third with 8 points, 11 rebounds. White working against AC. Trying to go through him, doesn't happen. Rebound to Jackson. Here again, a new career high for Pierre Jackson. He's got 26.
Again, just when you're a player and you're feeling hot like that, comes off. Baylor doing a good job setting that screen and giving him that opportunity, but he got to stay in his face. And Coach Herbert thought about calling a timeout there, but decided just to play through it. We're going to have a TV timeout here coming up next, dead ball.
And there it is. We will have a media timeout here. 15:04 to play in the game. The Bears, behind Pierre Jackson, have an 8-point lead on Iowa State. 8-point lead for Baylor with 15:04 to play here in the second half. Iowa State leads the Big 12, and of course have been shooting the three ball well the last few games, averaging about 10 three-pointers in the last 8 here tonight, picking it up in the second half.
Now they've gotten their looks. They've gotten some easier looks this second half, been able to take advantage of it. Big key is just on that defensive end, getting stops.
And on the glass, you see the rebounding numbers. That's quite a turnaround from what Iowa State has experienced the last 9 games. And that guy right there, Melvin Edgem, really picking up the slack on the interior for Iowa State. He's got 6 again, all in the second half. He's perfect from the field. The assist to Christopherson.
Well, the biggest part on the rebounding advantage is Baylor's limiting Iowa State to 1 shot. If they don't score, they're not getting a second chance opportunity very often.
AC can't get the bucket. White with the board. Babb, the 3. Look good. Off the stroke.
What the crowd was looking for, something to cheer about. Take advantage of this. Travel there at the top.
Walton had it knocked away. Allen up with a loose ball. Out ahead to Babb. The 3 to tie. Jackson with the fast break opportunity, and he'll cash it in. 28 points on the night for Pierre Jackson.
It just makes it so difficult right across half court. Nobody can pick him up. Nobody can contain him, so he just continues to attack that hole. You're almost going to have to send somebody at him, but have a backup too, so you have 2 guys almost contained.
The fade. And a foul here going to be called against Baylor. I believe this is against Quincy AC. That'll be his 3rd.
Well, Iowa State's 3-point shooting, keeping them in it right now. Boy, Jackson just continuing where he left off in the first half, attacking that hoop. First half, we saw a lot of that. We're starting to see it in the second half, too. From inside out, being effective from the 3-point line and in the fast break.
Well, Pierre Jackson has single-handedly kept this crowd really at bay. As you see, Allen pushed here. And this one will.
We tell you, if you're Iowa State, you see a great advantage there. If they're going to jump out and trap that, if you extend that high, send that a high trap, you get somebody in the middle, you'll be able to attack and get layups and dunks against their front line.
Quincy Miller with the foul. That'll be his 2nd team foul here in the late half. The 3rd against Baylor.
There you go, right there to the middle.
Allen had to fight through the double team to get that assist off. And it's back to a 1-possession game.
Now change up with Chris Babb on Jackson. A little bit more height to take away the shooting.
Franklin to Walton, who just checked back into the game. Tyrus McGee also checking in at the last horn for Iowa State. 4 on the shot clock. Walton can't get it to fall, and AC will save it in. Jackson on the drive, and the rebound to White, who's fouled.
Great team effort out of Iowa State there. Closing out, everybody came at Jackson, made a tough shot for Jackson to get out. Great strong rebound, Royce White.
Quincy Miller will pick up his third, and he is the third Bear to register his third foul. Pierre Jones, the third, back in. A lot of threes there. Quincy Acey will check out.
Well, Iowa State fans just looking for something to cheer about on the edge of their seats now, knowing what can happen as Iowa State puts a little bit of a run, get themselves right this into a one-possession game.
Inside they go to Edgem. Too hard on the pass. Babb. Gets the deuce. And it's a one-point game. The last time it was this close was with 4:44 to play in the first half. As this Hilton crowd on their feet.
Carry out top on the hit, officials missed.
And Franklin hits the triple from the corner. Iowa State at one time was down by 9, and now hanging tough.
Iowa State doing a great job against Baylor, playing their man-to-man here.
Melvin Edgem, a huge second half with 10 points.
Doing exactly what we talked about. They're going to send that double team out there, throwing it to that high post area and attacking that paint.
Iowa State looking for a defensive stand here.
And the crowd really into this.
Shot clock at 5 as Walton releases. And an opportunity to tie it or take the lead.
It's one of the few arenas that you really feel that floor shake.
McGee can't get it. Allen. That's a 2. And this one will be deflected away. Last touch by Iowa State. That will bring us to a timeout on the floor. How about the battle here for the number 3 seed in the Big 12 Conference Tournament? Baylor holding a 2-point edge. Baylor with a 2-point edge on Iowa State with 10:27. The main reason why Iowa State's been able to almost erase this 9-point deficit in this contest has been this guy, Melvin Edgem, in the second half.
Well, we talked about him at the beginning of the game, 5 for 5, just doing a great job of filling that middle, taking the feeds, going up strong, and also creating rebound opportunities and a couple second chance opportunities for Iowa State.
Cyclone shooting 63% so far here in the late half. Similar numbers to what Baylor put up down in Waco in their first meeting.
Well, there's 2 nevers that we've seen. Baylor hasn't lost when leading in the second half at halftime and has never won here. So
Jones, the third, was asking for a clear out there. Now gets it at the top. And he has back-to-back double-doubles here. 10 points, 11 rebounds on the night for Perry Jones III. As we take a look at your Budweiser quick stat. Great times are waiting. Grab some Buds, your second half numbers.
Well, Baylor back into a zone package again.
Babb able to corral it. 12 on the shot clock and had it poked away from behind by Franklin. Baylor with 11 road wins this season, which is something they've never done before.
And Coach Drew coming out of each timeout, almost changing their defense up, so Iowa State not knowing what exactly is going to come at them, have to make adjustments on the fly.
Franklin, the long 3, and Jones tracks down the long rebound. The Bears have outboarded Iowa State by 6, 31-25. Jones has it knocked away, and McGee up with it. 2-on-2 opportunity. McGee. Booker gets the board. Now back to Tyrus. Iowa State will slow it down.
Iowa with Baylor's big, just always expecting that contact, just not seeing as they finish, just can't finish.
Babb set up.